have Madura here on the Gold Coast with us at Griffith University. So thank you very much for coming all this way and telling us a little bit about the work that you're doing. So as you may have read from the speaker briefing notes, so Madura is a senior lecturer in sustainable tourism management at Cowan University on their Sri Lankan campus. He's completed his doctorate at the University of Wales, Trinity Street, David, and holds an MBA from Cardiff Metropolitan University in the UK. And how I know Madura is he completed the Australia Awards International Short Course in Sustainable Tourism Management we started in 2019 and into 2020, which we hit a bit of a roadblock there because we had the pandemic.
We were about to experience.
Yeah, but luckily you got to come to Australia and do the study tour. So it was just the last part of the course that we kind of missed out on and had to move to an online format, as many of us did. Yeah, the last bit. But since then, he's been working on a number of different projects in Sri Lanka as part of the Australia Awards. So we might talk a little bit about that today. Fantastic. And he also does a lot of work in tourism consulting and he's very involved in the Sri Lankan tourism industry. So I thought it was a great opportunity to come and present your work and what you've been doing. Hear about your plans for the future and just learn a little bit about sustainable tourism in Sri Lanka as well. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Well, thank you for the opportunity and warm welcome and good morning to Sri Lanka if you're joining from Sri Lanka, and good morning to Gold Coast as well. So as Sarah said, my name is Madura and I'm working for Cowan University Sri Lanka campus. And well, I'm gonna give you a brief about what's happening with me and my team over there in Sri Lanka and what is the status of sustainable tourism in Sri Lanka. Since we have a roughly 1 hour session today, so I'll be summarizing about what we have done basically and how success they were, and then what is going to be the future plan for us during the 2023 and 2024 is what I'm going to cover today. Well, as you already know, Sri Lanka is a wonderful destination, middle of Indian Ocean, very next to India. And we are very rich with the scenic beauty, ancient history, culture, and we have picturesque beaches, rainforests. So we were actually doing very well in promoting sustainable tourism, attracting many Europeans, Australians, Chinese tourists, Indian tourists for basically after the ethnic war that we had. Well, when we are talking about the Sri Lanka tourism, until 2019, we were performing very well. And in 2018, when we concluding the year 2018, we welcomed record breaking of 2.3 million of tourist arrival, which was the highest arrival so far we have experienced in Sri Lanka tourism. Well, unfortunately, after that, we were facing 3 different crises. One was the Easter Sunday attack, which happened in 2019 April, where the arrivals went to 0 arrivals all of a sudden. And then we were gradually picking up the tourism arrivals by December 2019. And then we were hit by COVID-19 pandemic again, which went to 0 tourism arrivals for 2 years. And due to the pandemic restrictions, we had to face a massive economic crisis starting from 2022 February onwards until now, where we were running out of basic infrastructure, basic supplies. And also we were a nation, we were a destination, we were an industry who faced 3 different crises and who are struggling now to pick up the destination to the usual status. And the current government is doing their very best to bring back the tourism to the usual status that used to be. So let me just show you a small clip if you are very new to the Sri Lankan context, if you have never seen Sri Lanka. So I'm going to show you a 2-minute and 43-second small video about what happened and then where are we now. So let's go and have a look at this video clip by Sri Lanka Tourism.
There was a time when instability and turbulence loomed over our beloved Sri Lanka, and uncertainty was in the air, plagued by a pandemic and an economic crisis consecutively. We as a people withstood tremendous hardships with an imminent need for perseverance and a solution. But that was then. Here we are now. Amidst the smiles we made anew, amidst the wonders not forgotten, we nurtured a haven for us and you to live and work remotely, to elevate your experiences, to find an inner peace, to celebrate independence, both ours and of your own, to get lost in our nightlife, to make the moments last. In safety we've created, in safety we've made vast. Hotels on hills and beaches, a trek on roads sun-kissed, where fireworks meet culture, and culture feels like bliss. Ever onward, ever blessed. We're a standard always set. We're an island so amazing that some call it the best. An island bathed in forests, an island bathed in mist, an island bathed in coral reefs, an island loved and missed. Wherever you choose to go, wherever you choose to be, it's a short drive in any direction to excursions and opportunity. Here's where hundreds of thousands of new smiles grace malls and businesses alike. Here's where power now flows consistently and resource supplies have height. Here's where dedication and renewed leadership work together to keep the heart of a nation beating. Here's where safety measures are taken. So, no more masks. You can enjoy breathing, make a trip, and make haste. There isn't a moment to waste. Your adventure begins when you decide, I think I love this place.
All right, so that was a film by Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau in 2023. So as I said, Sri Lanka tourism is picking back to the usual status, and then these are some of the clicks from Sri Lanka tourism as a summary of. Oh no. So you can see over there the pristine beaches, our tea culture, wildlife, our rich heritage, and our rail hikes and the Lion Rock Fortress in the cultural triangle. So these are some of the major tourism destination sites in Sri Lanka. And so since our topic is today what was happened and how what is my focus is, so we have actually paid our attention for the economic sustainability, how we're going to drive the Sri Lanka tourism to have a economic drive. Even though we were focusing about that, but we have learned a lesson that we still need to work on that a lot, because that's why we were unable to survive with the crisis. So economic sustainability was there as a topic, and when it comes to environmental sustainability, Sri Lanka is something that uh, uh, a country which have a significant effort on conservation, preservations, but which we need to work a lot, especially when it comes to safeguarding endangered species and their habits and the natural settings. So environmental sustainability was also a topic for us. Social sustainability was not there that much in the tourism sector in Sri Lanka, but slowly picking up, especially when it comes to providing local livelihood, providing employment opportunities, enhancing their well-being were some of the topics that we still need to talk when it comes to the future of the Sri Lanka tourism. So same like or similar to the other destinations, we are also having the same sustainable issues, especially when it comes to environmental degradation, cultural preservation, waste management, community involvement issues, infrastructure development issues. So that's pretty common, similar to the other Asian destinations in Sri Lanka as well. So this is just one example. This is from the Yala National Park. The Yala National Park is one of the Asia's heavily visited national park to sight the leopards. As you can see on this image, Yara National Park is heavily crowded from the safari operators, as you can see over there, which is totally a disturbance. So likewise, we are having the same kind of sustainable issues, which we need to address very soon if we need to head the Sri Lanka tourism for the sustainable aspects. So if we really want to make sure that Sri Lanka tourism is into the survival aspects. So by keeping those in the mindset and and understanding this vacuum, we had the opportunity of coming to Australia in 2020 to learn more about how we can drive or how we can fill this vacuum. So we had the opportunity to have a detailed discussion about the academics here at Griffith University and University of Sunshine Coast, how we can fill this gap. So once we returned back to the country in 2020 March, me and my team had a detailed discussion how we're going to fill this vacuum in Sri Lanka and how we're going to set a path or a drive or how we're going to lay this foundation to provide an understanding for the rest of the stakeholders in Sri Lanka to learn from us. So we started this journey. So this is the timeline, what we were doing for the last, basically for 3 years, once we returned to country. So we started with an online course actually, which we have followed here in, which was developed by you. And we actually developed the same one in a different context with a different contextualized way where the Sri Lankans can learn. So we started that one July 2020, and then we are now in the fourth successful project at the moment. And so this is the timeline, and now we are continuously working toward the sustainable tourism as a consultation firm now, which helped us a lot to be with the stakeholders to provide the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience to make sure that they are filling up this vacuum. So this is the timeline. So I'm going to explain you what are these projects and who funded these and what went success and what were the lessons that we have learned during these projects. We are doing these volunteer projects. If we're going to go back in this timeline until 2023, all these 4 projects are volunteer projects. We were not paid, but we have learned a lot of lessons. We developed our network a lot, and it gives us a clear understanding about what is the vacuum over in the Sri Lanka tourism. It gives us more opportunities to be with the people and to share what we have learned. Ultimately, that helped us a lot to have our own personal growth. Now we are heading with a consultation arm where it helps us to make sure that we are economically surviving while we are doing our volunteer projects. So these are the major objectives of these volunteer projects. We trying to make sure that we are economically recovering the participants of our programs. We trying to secure their employment opportunities in the Sri Lanka tourism. All these 4 programs are heavily targeted to secure their employments. And then we trying to increase the awareness about the sustainable tourism, which was a major vacuum in Sri Lanka tourism. Actually, we have done it and we have the results now with us in quantifiable way. Rather than in a qualitative way, we have now the quantifiable results, what we have done. And in addition to that, we trying to share our knowledge, we trying to build the relationships. I mean, we trying to connect all the connections that we have developed in Sri Lanka, in Australia, toward the stakeholders over there. In addition to that, we're trying to make sure that we are building a social security for all the community members in Sri Lanka in terms of Sri Lanka tourism. So these are the major objectives that we are having at the moment when we are implementing all our projects. So who we are? So I would like to introduce my 19 members who came to Griffith University and University of Sunshine Coast, thanks to the Australia Award and our team over here. So this is the 19 members who are in front of the Australia Zoo board back in 2020. So we actually came down here to study about sustainable tourism. It was a short course. Even though our stay was a 10-day stay in Australia, that helped us a lot to learn what we have to do back in Sri Lanka and what we have to commit. I think we were lucky to learn everything in 10 days rather than committing ourselves for 12 months or 48 months. I mean, we have learned a lot and we were able to meet senior academics. We were able to meet some of the experienced industry stakeholders. I remember how Russell is supporting us from Savannah Guides, who is now still continuing with us, and who is Steve Knox from Madura Lodge, who is still writing to me. So those were the major benefits that we were able to gain during this study. So out of these 90 members, these are the 5 key pillars right now working with me. And these are some of the photographs that they have taken during the stay back in 2020. So if I give a small summary about who they are, Ms. Nishanti Kulatunga is the only female team member for us. Very proud to say that she is having a strong confidence about me and my team about what we are trying to do. She is the assistant general manager right now, one of the major tourism brand name in Sri Lanka, which is co-team. And Malinda is my process auditor, who is the director for Arunya Vacations, another major tourism brand name in Sri Lanka. Dheera is the government representation for us. He is the cluster head for Sri Lanka Institute for Tourism and Hotel Management. Dheera representing the national or the government arm of training for tourism sector. So he is supporting us from the government support. Lalit is the national tourist guide for team members, who is having a vast knowledge about in and out about all the destination sites and everything. And finally me. So this image was taken during our second project, and we were wearing our university, sorry, not the project uniform, which we have provided, Sarah. So let me to give you a small introduction about what happened and what went a success in this first project that we did in 2020. So once we returned back to Sri Lanka, we returned back to a country which was completely locked down, and entire tourism industry was experiencing a massive drawbacks and downturn. So we were struggling a lot and thinking a lot how to make sure that our entire industry stakeholders are surviving at the moment with the required knowledge and what we have to do. So we thought of, all right, why don't we come up with an online course, what we have learned from Griffith University by that time, which is called Ready for Recovery. I still remember. So while staying at home for more than 10 months, we were able to develop an online course where the stakeholders can learn free of charge. So we recorded video content, audio, we wrote case studies, we had readings. We were able to get down one of the local community member from North Queensland, who is representing Walkabout Culture Organization. And most of you all were there during the online course, starting from Noel. And this is Noel delivering the keynote speech during the launch ceremony. We ran the online course for a period of 12 months, and I'm happy to say that we had 5,000 plus completions. Yeah, we had 5,000 plus completions. Why I'm saying in that way? Because YouTube statistics, YouTube statistics, we were enabled the insights. It has clearly showed us that 5,000 reached to the final stage of the course.
Wow.
Yeah, in the sense, not in the sense that they reached, they viewed the last video as well. Yeah, 5,000 plus. We were trying our level best to give them a badge like you did, but we were unable to come down with the local university because we were in a lockdown. We were unable to have a proper meeting, proper discussion about why this is important. However, even though it was not provided by a badge, still Sri Lankan tourism stakeholders completed this one. And yeah, so we concluded that project in 2020 January. Project was sponsored by Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade over here. I think we got 5,000 plus Australian dollars to do that. And we all did voluntarily. Basically, the money went to development of the website and to the video production only. And again, I have to say that this was volunteer project. So this was the first one we completed, which empowered us a lot because we were never thinking of an audience of 5,000 plus in a country like Sri Lanka. We've never thought, yeah. So that helped us a lot to come up with my second project, which is establishment of the Over Area Guides Association. So this is a very unique project because, as you can see over in the first picture, we randomly selected 20 participants from Uva province in Sri Lanka. Uva is one of the major tourist destinations, but less developed. So we selected these 20 members who were acting by that time as informal tourist guides, in the sense that they were running out of license. They are not in the formal sector. So we selected them, and then we had discussions with the Sri Lanka Institute for Tourism and Hotel Management to deliver area guide course curriculum free of charge for them. So we delivered the entire course free of charge for 6 months.
Similar to the Savannah guides, so
Yes.
you learned from that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It was an extensive one. This
Yeah.
one is a 6-month program. So we did it every weekend for a period of 6 months, every weekend. Second picture shows us some of the online deliveries. So they had to have 80% of participation, attendance throughout the 6 months. And the third picture shows us the end result. So we delivered it, and 16 of them completed the project. 4 of them dropped down due to the lack of results. But 16 were survived. And license were provided by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority free of charge. Everything was free of charge. So we gave them education, we gave them license, we gave them uniforms, we gave them a website, we gave them the constitution for the Area Guide Association. We linked to the Uva Tourism Authority to go ahead with their employment.
Wow.
So now they are working in the sector. If anyone would like to have a chat with them, I'm very much happy to link them to show how this kind of a volunteer project help them to uplift their life in the tourism sector when they are recovering. So this is the key resource panel, including my my team members. Both corners are represented by the Australia Awards officials who were the major sponsors for our project. All of us are wearing the project uniform. And the center, the dark brown trouser, is representing Uva Vellasa University, who is the department head for the tourism department, Professor Ruan Ranasinghe. And the light trouser, middle, is the CEO for Uva Tourism Association, the government body of Uva. So both of them were represented the program just to make sure that industry relationship is getting established for these 16 participants. So these are some of the photographs that we have taken during the project. We did field visits, we did assessments, we did practicals. So we were traveling to Uva province, which is more than 10 hours from Colombo. So the big picture shows us one of the major tourism attraction in Uva. And top in your left, you can see they are doing their practical assessment. Second one is practical assessment. The right-hand corner, you can see Rahul Pereira, Mr. Rahul Pereira, who is one of our major colleague team member who completed the sustainable tourism short course. First one, delivering some of the insights to our participants during the field visits. And then this is the awarding ceremony. We organize a grand scale awarding ceremony at Uva Vellasa University because we have to empower them, we have to motivate them, we have to show them that you have received one kind of an opportunity in their life because this was completely free of charge. So this is over in the major picture, you can see the best performing female receiving the certificate from the executive from Uva Association. And I have to say, Professor Harriet Beasley from University of Sunshine Coast requested us to award a monetary award to the best female participant. So this was the amount that she getting the the prize. And so yeah, these are the images which we took during the award ceremony. The entire clan group during the award ceremony. And then we reached to the third project, which we established a tourism village initiative in Mahiyangana in Sri Lanka. We trained around 12 tourism service providers who never had a chance to meet university academics in their life. Some of them have never seen major MS applications even, Microsoft Office applications. So that was the first time that they have came across an university academic. So we were with them for a period of 6 months. We trained them. We again gave them uniforms. We established the Tourism Village Association. And then 9 of them got qualified. So these are the 9 participants who completed them, now working back to Mahiyangana in Sri Lanka with the knowledge that we have given to them. So among them, some are restaurant operators, some are boat service operators, some are camping operators, some are formal accommodation operators, some are vehicle transportation providers. So among them. So these were during the workshops that we have delivered for them. So you can see they are listening to our major course curriculum. And these images were taken during the field visits that we have taken them. And we have taken them 2-day field visit, fully paid and fully voluntary basis, plus it is free of charge for them. We have not charged a single penny from them. And then we launched the program. This was during the award ceremony. My crew, Malinda, Dheera, me, Nishanti, and Lalit, and entire crew. Here we are representing Skills for Inclusive Growth. Skills for Inclusive Growth is Australian government sponsored non-governmental organization working back to Sri Lanka for sustainable tourism. Second row, red shirt is represented by Shakti. Shakti is from SYG. And then over there you can see first officer from High Commission in Australia, who is the floral dress, middle row, blue. So these were the major relationships that we have established for them. And this was unique because second row, the green shirts, were the participants who completed the previous year project. Just came down to empower them. Dave George from Canberra joined with us to deliver the keynote over there. So he connected with us through online. And then this was the awarding ceremony. Dilhari is delivering the speech, and this was taken during the launch of the website toward them. And then we reached to the final stage, I mean, the ongoing project, which is happening now in Aurelia. So this is another unique project. We have selected 20 participants, youth participants from Sri Lanka after doing an interview series. This was the cohort we received during the stage 1. Out of this, we have selected 20 of them to go ahead with our training program. It is a skill development. Well, each and every program what we have done having unique characteristics. First one was knowledge sharing. Second one, formal licensing. Third one is relationship building up. Now this one is a skill development. So we actually completed the second stage of the project. So these images were taken during the second stage. These color codes are representing different themes. The middle one is all about the diversity and inclusion. We're just trying to establish the meaning of that. And then we're trying to build the awareness of the youth in Aurelia district. So this was taken during the stage 2. And we were identified a lot in major websites. And this was taken from Australia Awards website in Colombo, where they wrote about us and the commitment that we have done in Colombo. And this one again about the second project what we had done over there. So yes, so that was about what we have done so far while working together. So, I mean, we have challenges. We have to answer these challenges. I think we were able to set a path. We were able to set a landmark to learn from us. And we have trained now more than 25 participants who have the strong knowledge and experience from us, which we develop from you. So they have empowered the knowledge, empowered with the key knowledge to face to the key challenges in Sri Lanka tourism, especially when it comes to the economic survival, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability. Challenges going to be there for sure, but we have to make sure that we are addressing these challenges in a sustainable manner. So I think we were able to set a landmark over there, or milestone over there, by training them. And yeah, so we have focused a lot for the next few years for Sri Lanka tourism. In conclusion, sustainable tourism plays a vital role in any industry, similar to all other destinations. So we are having a long-term focus at the moment, and we need to establish that long-term focus uh, uh, to make sure that Sri Lanka tourism is driving toward the long-term survival of the tourism sector. Well, since we have 1 hour, I thought of like summarize everything for 30 minutes to open for questions.
Yeah.
So I'll stop the recording now for the questions.
Yeah. So if you wish to contact me, if you wish to go ahead with any research work, because I'm doing so many research work back in Sri Lanka, I have extended that research to other Asian destinations as well. So if you wish to have a collaboration, if you wish to have a relationship for our academic research, here is my email address. I'm always ready to reply. Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.
And I hope it was insightful. And if you have any questions from Sri Lanka or anywhere in the world, I'm ready to answer. So thank you very much for listening me, and thank you my colleagues from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, thank you so much.